All right, welcome everyone to week one recap and week two predictions. I'm very excited to have another video out here. And I actually wanted to introduce a special guest today because I wanted to make sure I had guests on this year. It was kind of a to do that I had mentioned in the first video, and I'm actually doing it. So today on week one recap, I am joined by a very special guest, Core.
Hello, hello.
Welcome. So we're gonna kind of go through. We're gonna first recap the play-ins, week one. Uh, I'll kind of go through it. Core can add whatever he wants to it as well because some of the matches he saw, some of them I saw, some we saw both. And then we'll go through kind of and see what we agree and disagree on for our week two predictions. So I guess to start out, we'll talk about the play-in matches. So there was play-in week one, or play-in match one, which was the four-way race, and obviously this one was tough because only one runner survives to make play-in two here. So this was kind of a do or die for everyone, and this was a really really close race throughout. Um, I think Gamer Olive actually missed Pod Fraud to start this race, so ended up with like a 3 minute deficit. And then Benny Moon ended up like regaining the lead. He kept that lead pretty much all the way to the end, but then fumbled in five. So it was a pretty close race. I don't
Yeah.
know. Did you see this one, Core?
Yeah, I think I watched it like two-thirds of it and then it got too late, but it
Gotcha.
was like really crazy because as you said it, like Gamer Olive, Podford miss, and then behind for like 2 or 3 minutes, and throughout the entire race, Benny Moon was in the lead. And as you said it, like when I went to bed and said like this is great, I need to watch it more, but I can't. And then I thought, yeah, Benny Moon should have it in the bag, but
Mm-hmm.
the Game Olive is creeping closer and closer. And then was like, when I went to bed, it was like this small chance that it would be there would be a possibility for Game Olive to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, then first thing I did when I woke up was go to the VOD on YouTube and just watch it to the end. And
Mm-hmm.
like it was absolute cinema, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it could happen in the upper rungs, but like mainly the lower rungs, it's like no lead is really safe. Of course, like that's the case in all matches, but I feel like especially in like the play-ins, it's like you never know when runners are getting two four
Yeah, for
X's
sure.
or
Yeah, it's
disasters
only
can
over
happen.
after it's over. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
know.
no
I
crazy predictions that that will work out. Like if someone goes into F5 with 2 minutes lead, like it's absolutely no lead at all.
I'm not sure what you predicted for this match, but I predicted Gamer Olive, so this was a sweat for me as a predictor. I did not. I got it was a very lucky win and a comeback. I don't know who you had for this match, or if you remember off the top of your
I
head.
think I can't remember off the top of my head, but I can cheat. It was either Gamer Olive or Benny Moon, I think.
Okay.
Could have
Oh
been
well,
Benny.
that would be a little
Yeah, I
tragic.
think I
Benny Moon
got a bit
believers.
rolled in those. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually apologize to Benny Moon for my video last week because he actually PB'd. I said he would have like basically no chance because he had a 249, but I didn't even realize he had a
Yeah,
two
he popped
like
off in that one. Yeah.
45 or 46 by the time of that run. So I was like, I totally did not have his chances correct.
Yeah,
Um,
I think for him it was kind of like this mental barrier to get the sub 250, which was the
mhm.
goal to get into ladder league, and he like fumbled a bit on this one. But after that, like after the mental barrier was gone, he like immediately PB'd by another 4 minutes.
Yeah, and I guess as we go through, I'll also talk about what our predictions were because man, I had a rough week of predictions. I can go through. The fact that I picked Gamer Olive for the first two play-ins was like the best it got, and then it got really downhill from there. But we can go through if you want to like make sure you have your predictions up so you can if you don't remember them,
Yeah, I have it up.
so we can
Yeah.
go through them with the
Wasn't good for me
recaps.
either,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I
Wasn't
guess
a great week.
for the people who left the tournament, Chroma obviously wasn't expect. I think they were the second favorite in this race going in, but just not a great race overall. They were had the lead in episode four, but after they lost it, it was kind of a disastrous late game. So an unfortunate exit for Chroma. Apple as well. I think he was definitely like the favorite to get last. The betting odds favorite to get last, and it unfortunately showed. I think Apple never had a lead. He was just like there enough, but not quite enough to actually get the lead. So unfortunate exit for Apple and Benny Moon with actually a tragic exit because his time right there in week play in one would have been enough to win and play in two. so barely getting like squeaked out the tournament there, and maybe could have had a chance at rung 7. But anyways, moving on to the second play-in match, we had Yehoodles, Nolan, and Gamer Olive. So Yehoodles and Nolan, I was a little like unsure how their form was going into the tournament, and it kind of showed. Yehoodles got like a 304 or something ridiculous before the tournament started, so I was really not a believer. And Nolan, I wasn't sure where he was at, which I guess he wasn't. He wasn't quite up to practice, up to par. So Gamer Olive, like with a PB, pretty comfortably took this race. I don't know if
Yeah.
you saw this one, Core, if you have it.
Only the beginning as well, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it already like showed pretty early that Gamer Olive was like on top of his game,
Mm-hmm.
and the others weren't. So it like was, I think it was a pretty clear race from start to finish,
Yeah, I mean
like as much as I remember.
Gamer Olive came into this tournament like on fire with PB, 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 and then after squeaking by play-in 1, PB'd and play-in 2. So really just like
Yeah, really just showing great performance in races, which is
which
kind of a rare
honestly
side, I would say. Yeah.
gave me some like since I'll start talking about rung 7 in a second here, but gave me some like relative hope that Gamer Olive could win rung 7, which I was like kind of just chalking up as an anonymous win here. I guess we can transition straight to rung 7 recap, because my prediction there was anonymous would win pretty handedly, but then that was before the tournament. Gamer Olive started PBing, and Bixel wasn't playing, and then out of nowhere, Bixel gets like a 2 or 3 minute PB before the tournament. So I was like, okay, this is actually like a real race now. Which,
Yeah, it was, and you never know how the races go for Pixel and Anonymous,
mm-hmm,
because like on paper they had the better PB by like 4 minutes or something, but who could know that they PB both in the race as well? They
I
could have
know.
just like easily gotten a 240 time, and then Gamer Olive takes the win.
Yeah, so Gamer
So
Olive got a better time than their PBs going into laterally. Or I
yeah,
think
exactly.
Anonymous like PB'd like the day before or something, but yeah. Both their
Yeah, but
times
like
got
the
PB.
239, like 2 weeks ago, the 239 would have been very competitive.
Yeah, I mean, this was
And
the
so I think
big.
like Gamer Olive definitely can be like very proud of themselves
Mm-hmm.
just by performing so good. 3 PBs and 3 races. I mean, what can you do more? Like, there's
I know.
no other words.
I put in my notes, it was like Gamer Olive and Bixel go out with a bang as they both PB but lose. And Anonymous PBs and wins. It was the big triple PB race, which, I mean, you can't expect anything more from Gamer Olive, and I hope he continues to do runs because, I mean, clearly the potential's there to continue PBing. And then
Yeah,
Bixel as
very,
well.
very definitely.
I think Bixel just got unlucky. He was in the bottom rung. Like, just to quickly recap the race, it was Bixel was behind by over 2 minutes in episode 4, but then clawed it all the way back and just narrowly couldn't make up that gap in 5. I think there was a couple of like disasters that he could have capitalized on but didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
unfortunate for
Anonymous
Bixel.
like opened a few opportunities, and overall Pixel had a good crawl back since
Mm,
like Anonymous was about 2 minutes in the lead
yeah.
at some point. So yeah, ending within like 30 seconds shows that there was some potential. But overall, yeah. And that's a crazy thing. If you look at rank 6, by the way, like the 235s would have beaten 2 times from the rank 6. So that also shows how competitive like rank 7 was, right?
Hmm.
And having that as elimination of 2 runners already is kind of brutal for this year, but
Yeah,
that's
it's
how it is.
just the danger of the bottom rung, which, by the way, we actually, like, the whole leapfrog system, which I went over briefly in the last video, and it's in the overall ladder league video if you don't know what that is. But the leapfrog system coming into effect immediately said, "Oh, there's no way out of the bottom rung," and Anonymous immediately utilizing that as he leapfrogs to rung 5 next week, so he has no risk of actually being eliminated instead of having
Yeah,
to
I think we
literally
need
leap.
to do like an integrity check on that one.
Yeah, oh wait.
kind of.
Anonymous comes up with the rule. Anonymous immediately benefits from the rule. We'll have to see what he says in his recap about it, because
Yeah.
that is a little suspicious. And obviously that just goes to show how much that sucks for Bixel, because he literally would have leapfrogged if he had won that race instead of being
Yeah, that's true.
eliminated. And I guess that moving on to rung 6, and if anyone remembers from last year, there was the Bozo race of the week, and this one easily gets the cake for that. I forgot that I did Bozo race of the week last year until Zach DM me. He goes Bozo race of the week mid match when I was watching this. I was like, yeah, for sure. I know you weren't awake for this one, Core, so I can quickly break down what happened because Zoda, it was just an absolute disaster from the beginning. He like lost a lot of time in the early episodes and then missed Fast Force. Well, he gave up on Fast Force is a better way of saying it. And he just like wasn't really in it from there. Just honestly probably a mental shot to him just to like miss Fast Force for so long and then just wasn't able to claw back. But in Quasar and Charizard were well ahead. Well, mainly Charizard because Quasar had some episode 4 disasters. And then Charizard proceeded to try to throw, but then Quasar tried to like throw even harder. And it ended up with an anonymous leapfrog and Charizard having to like he could have just played Bespin normally. And then it was just a little bit of bait from T Fresh in the chat is all that it took to get Charizard to attempt GTF and lose 1.5 minutes and lose the leapfrog opportunity.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, I know you didn't see this one, so you don't really have too many
Yeah,
insights on this, but yeah,
that's an interesting twist.
I
It
guess
shows that you should actually just log in and
yeah, I
not
know.
like pay attention to chat and everything.
That's why it's like I think it's best as a runner just to like it's okay to check the stream every once in a while to check like the gaps and whatnot. Like I especially recommend it right before Bespin to check the gap. You know, if you're in the lead or you're like, oh crap, I'm a little bit behind, like, you know, you might have to do GTF or you might be able to not do it. So like if Charizard wasn't so focused on, you know, T Fresh and whatever the chat was saying, probably could have just done Bespin normally and gotten a free leapfrog. Because I
Yeah,
guess
that's interesting. Yeah.
we won't go over it quite yet, but yeah, he could have been in a rung with Daime Flup, and now he is in a rung with Coulson and an Anonymous, a full rung below, probably where he wants to be. But that's besides the point. I guess, yeah, that's the Bozo race of the week. There isn't too much to talk about that. I mean, if I'm Charizard, go look back at how to do library skip, since that's pretty important. Don't lose a minute to that in the future. Uh, I guess moving on
Yeah, I think
to
I can remember an Evan tweet from like a few years ago, or like no, it was last year. He was like missing library skip in 2024 or something. I can remember that tweet there. So
yeah,
yeah, that shouldn't happen.
I'll let you take the recap here for the fifth rung here, of course. I didn't quite see this match, but
Yeah, fifth
I
rung
read the recap.
was really interesting, especially because had a huge PB for Phantom here,
Mm-hmm.
my German buddy. So I was really pleased to finally see him break the sub 230 barrier, which he like tried for a few months now. And like, I think he PB'd after this for another minute or something.
Oh, I
So
didn't even know that. Yeah,
or
he
did
is at
he?
228
No, I
now.
think he didn't. Actually, maybe
Oh,
I'm
okay.
trolling, and he was only on a good pace. I
You could be
wait, let
thinking of
me
a
check.
T Fresh PV since he did 228 after
Yeah, there
this
was a
match.
T-First PB as well, but wasn't there Phantom PB as well? Yeah,
There's
Phantom
there was a
also has a
lot of people who PV'd. Oh,
228.35 now.
okay,
So yeah,
okay.
he PB'd another minute, so I wasn't misremembering. But just like as I mentioned it before with like Benny Moon, like this mental barrier exists definitely. And I hope he can be like very freed from that now and like perform the next races as well, because this one was pretty good from the start from him, I would say. He was just consistently hitting every trick, which is
Mhm.
always nice to see. And I feel like Twilight like did definitely show some rust and fell behind like gradually over the entire race. And T-Fresh also had not the greatest early, but was close to Phantom throughout 2 and 4, I think. And but he also like fell behind in 6 and 3. So
Mm.
just showing that he wasn't fully prepared yet. But since he got a 227 last night or something, he's definitely also one to watch for the next weeks.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
that's also gonna go crazy.
I was really surprised by the twice light time. I guess it's, you know, if you're rusty, and that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think he mentioned that he didn't play any TCS before this match.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah,
using Ladder League as as a D-Rust isn't a great idea. I
and
showed that last year, and now he showed it this year. So maybe people
we don't
can
want to
finally
talk about the
stop
core
doing it.
performance last year.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
So
T
maybe we
Fresh was
can just
rusty
finally stop
too.
doing that. Yeah, he was a bit. Yeah.
Although like we've already seen with T Fresh, he has gotten the rust off. I mean, we can talk about more in the preview for the predictions, but yeah, T-Fresh
Yeah.
already has like a
Yeah, I mean the race
227.
itself was pretty decisive. Like um, after Phantom broke out and like everyone could see that he's on like huge PB pace, there was no like big who's gonna win this because like T-Fresh was trailing 3 minutes. And then I think Phantom even didn't go for GTF because he just wanted to walk in the free PB, free sub 230.
I'm actually
So
like
yeah.
I'm really impressed with the Phantom time because like not only is like PBing like impressive in a ladder league match, but also like breaking a major barrier. And it's just like I mean, he pretty much dominated this match, and a 229 would have been good enough to beat everyone in the rung above and match Daime's time. Like
I
I
mean
don't
he
know.
leapfrogged because of that. So
Yeah, yeah.
I guess it's good that we have that mechanic now because now he could capitalize off that great performance.
Yeah, my prediction for this match was Twice Light first, T Fresh second, Phantom third, which was just the exact opposite. I mean, I guess T Fresh got second, but like I basically thought of the race backwards. But that was more because I was very high on Twice Light, which I still am. Like I think he's really good. He just was rusty. But Phantom really, really surprised me. I thought like maybe like, oh like a 231 or 232, but no, a PB and 229 at Leapfrog.
Yeah, it was a crazy performance by him. Like the race itself, as I said, wasn't that catching, but PB implications and the sub 230 barrier was like a huge deal. So yeah, that was nice to see.
I only saw
But
the
yeah,
end of this match. If I mean, we don't have to talk too much about the rest of the match, but if you wanna talk about the Flup Coolest and Revy match at all, mainly just the
oh,
ending.
yeah. I feel like yeah, we can talk more here because like the ending, of course, like if you look at the times, the ending is the like most important one.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like this also could be like a small contender for Bozo race because it also had a few yeah unnecessary moments, I would say.
Did Revy have to go for GTF, or could he have? Well, I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
obviously.
That's my main point. He could have just not gone for it and easily walked in that win because he was like over a minute ahead or like close to a
Okay, that
minute.
was the gap because
So
I
he
wasn't
could have just
sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure
yeah,
the gap
it was
going
a
in
huge gap. Yeah,
because I know
I think he
Coolison had a
had a gap
meltdown
into
too.
CCT and then like both Coolest and Revi didn't have the greatest CCT and Flub kind of like caught up on CCT. And then they were I think Revi was a minute ahead and then Coolison and Flub were like within 20 seconds or something.
Okay.
And then Revilo just went for GTF for no reason and threw an elevator for like a minute. And then I think Coolison also went for GTF and threw an elevator. And then Flap got elevator pretty fast. It was like maybe second, third, maybe even first. I can't remember too close. And then Flap just threw on bridge skip. So
Oh yeah,
it was like everyone could have walked out of that best spin. Like if anyone played that best spin perfectly, or like close to like a 510 or something, which is not perfect at all actually, then they would have just won. So yeah, that's how that race ended.
I'm not saying
But
I'm happy Revy won, but I think he was the deserved winner just because of how he played that match. So I guess I'm glad that he ended up winning in the end. But it
yeah, I guess from
was
from from that perspective, you're completely right. If he would have been like if he would have played smart in the end, then there wasn't even a chance that
mm,
any of the others could catch up. But yeah, to the rest of the race, I think Coolison and Revi had like a close race for most of the time, and Flub falling a bit behind because she was rusty, and
mm.
also going a bit for the swag strats, which was kind of cool to see, like the
Oh,
spider
I
full and
forgot.
then the
Yeah.
can't clip in Echo Base, which was most of it, and actually didn't lose any major time to those, I think.
Mm.
But the main issue was probably just the rust in episode 1 and 2. I think fell down for like or fell behind for like 2 minutes, roughly
Mm.
in that area. And if that just doesn't happen, it's like an easy sub 230, which he should like be able to get instantly. Like
Yeah, yeah.
after 1 week of derust, that I feel like a sub 230 should be possible for someone with like a bad 227,
For
which was a
sure.
year ago without fry skip and everything.
I guess moving on
But
to rung three.
yeah,
I had the
let's go to that
luxury
one.
of commentating this one, and this was really just like a two-person race. At first, Daime was in it, Obviously, he is the Theed master, and he pulled ahead on Theed. But after that, it was all really Dragon and Laser. Dragon had a really nervous start, and I think he even expressed his nerves in the chat one time. But I was commenting with this anonymous, and I made this point. I'm like, I feel like this usually happens when there's like a favorite, because I think Dragon was the favorite going in, especially with the PB. The favorite always has like a shaky start, and I think this happened in my race too, where like, and then once like episode 4 hits and like 6 and 3 and like 5, they start to lock in and then start to get better times every single level. And that's kind of the case what happened with Dragon. There was some back and forth that happened between Dragon and Laser, but Dragon mainly dominating and especially getting an impressive 223, which by the way probably just automatically gets him top 8 because that's like a near secured wildcard time already if you have a Sanat
Yeah, I think
qualified.
everyone who kind of glimpsed at that wildcard spot needs to hope that Dragon qualifies before that,
Yeah, exactly.
because there's like no way, no way any out of the top, like other top 9, or like after top 8, like 9 to the rest of the field.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone can get a 223 in that one.
But yeah,
But
I
yeah,
guess
I feel like, yeah, I want to point out Laser in this race as well, because he was like performing very,
Mhm.
very well. I think he was like a minute ahead of his PB until episode 6 or something, where it kind of fell apart. But he was like playing really good, and I thought like if he keeps up the pace, then he can probably beat Dragon.
Mhm.
As you mentioned, Dragon fell behind a bit and was trailing. And yeah, Laser just playing a really good match at the like first half, and then a bit issues later on, but overall a good performance, I would say, for the match.
And Laser
Let me
would have
check with his
leapfrogged
PB.
too. If he won,
Yeah,
he
he
would
would.
have
Yeah,
leapfrogged as well. Like which Dragon obviously got the leapfrog, but Laser
yeah,
unfortunately having to deal with Wrong 2 next week, which honestly the leapfrog is so beneficial to Dragon because now he's in a qualification match and Laser is in a match where he has to play Justin, which is just not gonna be
yeah.
a
Especially
fun
like
time.
we just can like talk about this very very shortly, but Dragon like dodging Justin and like having that shot is
Mm-hmm.
actually really good. Like this loop frog is just a great mechanic. We're gonna talk about it later, but let's go to your race.
Oh
Since
yeah,
I commentated that, I can
you
talk a
probably
bit
know
about
more
it.
about it than I do.
Um, yeah, I know more about like the rest at least, and
Mhm.
to be frankly, like when we talked about this earlier, I actually just forgot that I've costed it. So, but yeah, as you mentioned, you fell a bit behind, like being a bit shaky, being a bit rusty,
I just want to
and
mention
therefore, like,
this. I had the worst invasion exit I've ever had in like 3 or 4 years
yeah,
in that
I
race.
was
It's
like,
funny.
your 1-1 wasn't great,
Hmm.
and like was it 222 or something, and then you had like this waterfall jump pickup, and I was
Yeah,
like,
I there's a
okay,
lot that went into that.
Sido is a bit shaky here, because usually like there was no question that you would win it, but like with the start, people would probably start to
Hmm.
think, oh, what's happening, and then Anorak hits Godfront, right,
Hmm.
and so suddenly a bit ahead, but Harasmi like gets a good feed, and then they kind of battle back and forth um, into episode 4, and but as you said it, like the like favorite starts to play better, stops making like stupid mistakes,
Hmm.
and then yeah, you would actually just pull ahead out of episode 4 and just harass me. Like Anorak kind of fall behind after that one, which was probably expectable to like some of best and everything, because Anorak also just has a really good early game, but falls off a bit in the late.
Yeah,
And
I know
yeah, and then
also.
you just like outperform harass me basically over the
Yeah,
rest of the race.
Anarch was telling me he was just like really struggling to like keep his or not keep his cool. That's a bad way of saying it, but he was really struggling to like hang on during this race. He had just a lot of just bad splits and snowball moments where he just kept losing more and more time, which is understandable. He just like couldn't hold it together, especially in episode 2. He like insta lost his lead. He was telling me about how he was a little disappointed about that. Like, I know episode 4, so I did actually check the gap at the I just knew at the end of 2 I was gonna be behind. I didn't actually look, but I checked after 4, and I saw I was in the lead, which was like really surprising to me. I know Horazmi had some.
I
I guess
think
they
your
both
episode 2
had
wasn't
disasters
that
before.
that crazy either, right? Wasn't there like I'm trying to remember, but there was like one or two things in episode 2 where also like, didn't you like mess up KBS or something?
Oh yeah, I messed up KBS. I messed up
Yeah, that
Gunship. I messed up so
yeah.
much in episode 2.
Yeah, and then and then you probably looked at the stream and was like, "What? How am I?
Yeah, I
How am
know.
I ahead out of
I
episode
knew
4 here?"
I knew I had a good episode 4 since I could see my timer and I golded 2 splits. Like I golded John, like golded Spaceport. So I was like, okay, this is probably decent. I hit Trash Skip. And I was like, all right, this is a good episode 4. I was like, so is the gap like more than a minute or is it less than I saw I was ahead? I was like, oh, okay, I can work with that. And then I proceeded to throw in episode 6 completely.
Yeah.
Well, then
Yeah,
I
so,
ended.
yeah, I think Harassme got back there as well.
I actually got like
Harassme got a really good Cocoon.
yeah. I got an insane ITDS. It was like a 135 opening, and then I played the inside really well. I got like a 457, which is like a pretty big gold for me. I think Zach was even saying that's better than his gold, which maybe he was just being nice to me, but apparently
Yeah,
better
it's
than Zach's
definitely
gold.
like it's close to CG for like at least the RNG part, right?
Yeah,
Since you can't like have a guaranteed shot at CG in this level.
but yeah. After that,
So
I guess like 3 and 5. I didn't have a great 3 and 5, but it was like solid enough just to close out the win.
yeah,
And in terms of rung one, I know I was just discussing this with you. We both ended up missing this race, and there hasn't been a write up yet. But I quickly like went through the VOD here, and so there was obviously the pod race, which was really interesting. Which all runners hitting at least some form of Gomprod. Justin hitting lap 3, and then the other two hitting lap 1. Which I didn't mention that in the previous rung. Anorak actually the only one to hit both lap 1 and 3 in a race, which pretty impressive on its own. Um, but honestly, this is kind of what I saw as like the week was going on because there was so much time between the start of Ladder League and when this race happened. I was like kind of convincing myself that Frost was definitely gonna win this, and he kind of just showed it here. He had a really solid race. I mean, a 2:20.24, probably. I mean, definitely better than any time anyone put up last year. Of course, there's new skips and
yeah,
whatnot,
for sure.
but
Yeah.
really impressive from Frost, and I'm not surprised, honestly, now that he won that race. Jared, obviously, he has had some struggles in the past at races. This wasn't horrible from him. He like had a decent start, but then just kind of fell apart, from what I saw. And then same with Justin, he had a decent start, but just couldn't keep up, and then just fell apart in the late game, which honestly surprisingly bad time from Justin. I don't know if you have much to say about this one, Core, since you didn't see it, but anything that kind of
Yeah,
stands out to
I
you?
mean, I can just like as you just go off the final times and yeah, also a bit surprised by Justin's time because I feel like if he was like in the range from Chariot, that would be like the time you would expect if stuff goes bad. So yeah, I'm curious to see and we'll probably rewatch it later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for now this will be how it is, and we maybe can like look at it for the outcast. But I think we're gonna start. Or do we want to go to the predictions for week 2?
Yeah, let's go
Oh, yeah,
to
let's do
predictions
that.
this week. So I guess we'll start with Rung 6. So twice like Quasar Zoda. What's like immediately what pops out to me here is this is likely, just judging by their times from last week, going to be a 2-man race between Quasar and Twice Light. Zoda just really struggled last week, so he's gonna have to really lock in this week to like get a good time. So he's prepared for this race because if Twice Light derusts, I mean he could be getting like a sub 230 even like if he's like really on the ball. Which Quasar has a low 2-3x now, so that would put together like this is gonna be a really cool race, which obviously winner survives and maybe even has a leapfrog opportunity. Um,
Yeah, as you said, it heavily depends on Twilight's derust,
yeah.
state of derust, because he has a sub 230 on the leaderboard as the only person of those three,
What would you say
and
is
then also is
your order
without.
for this race?
Yeah,
Like, who do you think first, second,
I would
third?
assume Twilight derust because I don't think he wants to get
Mm-hmm.
eliminated already. So I would put him first, and then probably just like from the seeding and Quasar second because I would expect him to do quite like at least fine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Quasar second, Soda third.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna.
maybe
Oh
like
yeah, go
maybe
ahead.
Soda can surprise us here and at least
Yeah.
beat Quasar. And then if Twilight doesn't derest fully, Soda could also win. So I feel like
Mm.
on paper it's more decided than in reality.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
like I can see a scenario where Soda wins this and that doesn't seem like too unlikely. Like it doesn't include like, oh, Twilight has to softlock twice in Hoth Battle or something.
I mean, yeah, we've seen
That's
Zoda put
that's
up
not the
good runs
scenario.
before. Just and we haven't seen it in ladder
Yeah,
league. We've
exactly.
seen it in just
Exactly.
his PBs. So like, I wouldn't be surprised. I would actually
Yeah.
agree perfectly with your guess here. Twilight first, Quasar second, Zoda third. Obviously, Quasar I think has a good chance of winning this as well, but I think Twilight's gonna kind of get a wake up call from that first week and be like, oh crap,
Yeah,
I
I hope he does.
actually need to
I hope he
lock
does.
in. I don't know if that race has been actually scheduled yet. I know there's one Monday, but it might be the Charizard Anonymous Coulson one if I can remember correctly.
Yeah, that one is on Monday, like the Charizard Coolison. I
Mhm.
think didn't they schedule? No, it's the Rang 3 that's already scheduled as well.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Twilight, I think it's gonna be a wake up call for him, and especially since I was in my video last week, I was kind of hyping up Twilight. I almost even said I didn't do it, but I almost had him in the top 8, which was kind of a outlandish prediction. But I would look like a fool now if I said that. So I really hope Twilight can lock in and show us some of that potential this week. Not that I guess I already filled out my prediction for him, so I picked Twilight for this race, and I think you have him as well.
Yeah, I'm just doing it as long as like going with
Yeah.
this video. But yeah, definitely Twilight here.
All right, and I guess I think the next rung, the Coolest Charizard Anonymous rung, is gonna be a similar structure, where it's gonna be kind of a two-way race for first, and then third is like yes, Anonymous could have a chance, but it's gonna take some sort of outside of the box performance. Like Anonymous obviously getting the Leapfrog, and I know he's like really happy to get the Leapfrog, and I was talking to him about it, and I was like, oh, what do you think your chances are? And actually, at the time, he didn't know he was getting the Leapfrog, but he was like, he said his ceiling was like a 231, which could maybe be enough to win this race. A cool and
Mm.
Charizard don't have a good race, but it would be a surprise if Anonymous won. But obviously now he's not in the bottom rung, so second place could just mean promotion. Anyways,
Yeah, and he's definitely like, even if he loses, he's safe. Like already
yeah,
that is just a
exactly.
huge relief. And of course he will face elimination after this, but coming in as like, what is it, like seed 19,
Yeah, I
just
know. Like,
surviving to week 3 is already like a good thing, right?
and I mean he just needs to get top two in theory without leapfrogs
Yeah,
in
and
play.
and you said like he got a 35 PB, but also like had some major throws there, as we mentioned. So he definitely can get like a 31 to 33 time without like needing to improve crazily.
Yeah,
And I think, yeah, what was like, Coolison got a 31 and Charizard got a, what was it, like a
31 as
33.
well, right?
So
Or yeah, 33.
no, he got a 33 even.
Yeah.
So I would say like in this one, it's like, for me, it's pretty undecided. Like anyone can take this. And
I
like
th-
looking at the odds from the prediction sheet, I might just go Anonymous here, just because it's like
Oh,
9
really?
points.
Okay. I'm trying. I honestly forgot who. If I don't. I think I picked Coolison here. I mean, okay. I think by
But
reasoning.
to be honest, Coolison also played pretty well, I would say, in the
Yeah.
in the race.
I think
If
by
like, even if he
reasoning.
lost, he was playing like 2 minutes to his PB.
Hmm.
And for like the first race, you gotta know like he hasn't played last year's tournament, unlike Flap and Revilo. So the race scenario for him, like in this tournament, like with commentators and everything, every eye of the community looking at him, I feel like he played very good for that, and also had a really good early game.
Hmm.
And so I would say, like, from a what's most likely, I would also put him in front.
Yeah.
But yeah, since Anonymous has like quite good chances as well, I will just pick him. But I feel like
Yeah.
Coolison has like the 40% chance to win, and like the others 30-ish.
Yeah. I agree. I think if I had to go my order, it would be Coulson, Charizard, Anonymous as my order right now. I think Coulson just has been of someone who's been like in that 220 range for a while now, or 22x range for a while, and I think just like is way more likely to have a solid run closer to his PB than Charizard and Anonymous, who kind of just got to that range, where I feel like their range of times are very fluctuant. Coulison's I think is a little bit of a smaller gap, and I think he's
Yeah.
less likely to have like a blow up race or something.
Yeah, also Coolison just has a really good sum of best compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
Because I think
Well,
he's sure to
actually,
have like a 22, 23-ish
Charizard has a
top.
22 sum of us. It's actually kind of crazy.
Oh, he has as well, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
that's true.
even.
Yeah,
I saw
Yeah,
that. I
Charizard
was
also is kind of
surprised.
due for the pop-off, but I'm not sure if it's gonna happen in the ladder league match.
Yeah, judging by the
So
last one,
yeah,
I does like Charizard is probably one of the most prone runners to a disaster, seeing from the last match. So I'm not really super high on him being able to
yeah,
hold a lead against a much stronger runner like Coulson.
yeah. I'm
Um,
definitely very excited for this match, as you said, because for me it's pretty undecided, and
mhm.
it's already in like 11 hours, right? So
Yeah, this is
not
gonna
gonna have
be
to wait too long for this. So everyone who didn't do their predictions, don't sleep out on this one because like I wouldn't say it's 3 points because it's like not clear who is gonna
yeah,
win at
yeah.
all, but at least like send in the prediction and maybe and of course like watch the match. It's like I don't know how it's for the NA times for this one, but like this is the like best EU time zone that can happen, I think.
Yeah. Also, I guess I'll mention this since we just brought it up. If you happen just to be watching this video and this match has already happened and you haven't filled out predictions, you can still fill out prediction form. You just won't get your points
Oh yeah,
counted
that's
for
right.
the
Yeah,
match. So you can still get
yeah.
your
You
points
won't get
counted for
this
all the other
match, but
ones.
the other ones. Yeah.
I guess moving on to the Daime Flup T Fresh rung. This is honestly the most interesting rung of the week. Here, I'll move my cursor so you can see Flup's name better. Yeah, this is one of the most interesting rungs, or probably the most interesting one in my opinion of the week. Maybe wrong one, but this one I think is like the closest that any three of these runners can win. T Fresh just getting a 227 PB. Flup has a 227. Daime has a high 226. Like just PB wise alone, super close. And if you look at
Yeah,
their
the PBs are like 40 seconds apart already. So
it should be like really interesting. If you look at their week one times, Daime got a high, 229, Flup got a 31, T Fresh got a 33. You'd expect Flup that she would get a better time. Week two, just naturally on derusting, getting better. So I would assume Flup, she's going to get a better time. T Fresh has been getting PBs, so he'll get a better time. And Daime as well getting the rust off. So like I'm expecting all three runners to get better times here. And I just don't
yeah,
know.
all should be able to get like a 27,
Mhm.
27-ish time without any major issues. And of course, like T-Fresh just PB'd, so he probably has more potential. Daime, of course, has more potential just by being like better runner from the leaderboard at least. And then Flap also, like I mentioned it earlier, the 27 PB that was like last year's BTR.
Mhm.
So she also should be able to get like a 26 maybe. So yeah, this one is also gonna be very, very exciting.
What's your order on this one? I know this is a tough one to pick.
Yeah, it like I can like take out take out a coin and flip it for everyone who's gonna like what's happening honestly because like realistically I know like I've been talking to Flap a lot about like state of DRS and also like the mentioned swag strats a bit just to show some variety gameplay and I'm fairly confident she can win, but
Mhm.
yeah, I guess that might be a bit like personal preferences just by me
Mhm.
like having more interaction and also like seeing that she mentions like episode 1, 2 have been like improved majorly, what was like the largest issue for last week.
Mhm.
And so I would put her in front and then probably T-Fresh and then Daime, but it's like it feels really wrong putting Daime last year, but
Yeah.
I guess I'm just gonna do it and like mention it that I think it's still gonna be a really close race.
I think my order also falls in the little bias because I'm moving in with T Fresh literally in less than a week now. So I'm gonna give like the roommate slash like I've done a couple races with him recently bias and give him the win here. I mean I've also like obviously I've raced him so I've seen some of his exits and like he's been playing like relative like not super close to me but like relatively close to me showing potential in all these runs to like get even better than a 227. So I feel like there's like so much potential that I can put T Fresh first. I think also another bias pick. I think Flup is gonna get second, and that's also because I picked Flup as the 7 seed. And I think the first week was another like kind of like twice kind of like a wake up call for Flup. And now she's like, okay, I got a 231, got leapfrogged. I might need to lock in here to actually like because I'm sure Flup had some aspirations of top 8 as well coming to the tournament. And I think it's the dawning realization of, oh crap, I got to get on this now, because obviously losing this match gets you in like the second to last rung. You don't really want to be there. So I
Yeah,
think
like once you get into like rung 5, what that would be? No, it would be rung. No, it would actually be rung 5, right? Yeah.
yeah, it would be
And rung 5 is actually elimination victory.
oh yeah, no, you're right. This is bottom. Oh my god. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
you would be already like facing elimination.
yeah,
That would
so
be
this
like
is like a big wake up
would be
call.
crazy.
And this is kind of crazy to have these three runners here. And I guess for Daime, I just like wasn't I commentated the match. I wasn't super impressed by the Daime performance week 1, and I'm sure we're gonna see a better Daime performance week 2. But I think he just gets the short end of the straw here in my prediction because I definitely have bias towards T-Fresh and Flop. And I wasn't extremely impressed with Daime's week 1 performance, so I guess I'll say Daime goes down.
Yeah, but
Yeah, go ahead.
crazy. I just realized like whoever loses here is gonna face elimination next week.
That's kind of a tough
That's
pill to
interesting.
swallow, especially being in like that wrong. I guess it's just how it
Yeah.
works in ladder. If you're in that third to
Yeah,
last
especially
rung,
with
you
only
have a
like the
risk.
seven rungs.
Yeah.
It like happens so quickly.
Um, Moving on to the next race, which I think the next two rungs are going to be quite quick to talk about because we have, I think, a clear favorite in both. So in this one we have Anorak, Revi, Phantom, and I think the clear favorite's Anorak, but that's just me basing it off of PBs. If you talk more about like how the first week went, Revi and Phantom both had phenomenal races. And then Anorak had a underwhelming race. However, I would still favor Anorak just because he has a
Yeah, for
significantly
sure.
better PB.
Like Enric should have a walk in the park here. For this race, it's definitely more who's gonna be second
Mm-hmm.
and like who can advance to round 2. And I feel for that one, it's like pretty open 21. Like
Oh,
Revi and Phantom. Phantom had a better race time, of course,
mm-hmm.
but Revilo also should be able to play in that like 230 range. Also, I'm not sure if you can expect Phantom to get a sub 230 next time as well.
Yeah,
Because he should have the confidence now, but like you know how it is. Like once you have the confidence, sometimes that's a positive thing. Sometimes it's just like gonna lead you to not focusing as much anymore.
actually, I want to mention something crazy about the rung below because we haven't mentioned leapfrogs yet too much about the predictions, but there's like this Revi Phantom Anorak race. Second place has a really strong chance of getting leapfrogged, I
Oh
think, by
yeah,
the rung
that's also
below.
true. Yeah,
So the range at
we
which you can
forgot
be
about
in,
that.
you can be from the lowest, or you could be rung 5 next week, or you can be rung 2. Like, it's actually insane.
Oh yeah,
This Flop Daime T
that's
Fresh
so
match.
true. What?
This is going
What?
to be like, yeah, you could change your destiny in this
What?
tournament in
Yeah,
this
this
one
this is
match.
kind of like the key match,
Yeah,
honestly, and like kind of crazy that it's gonna be such a close one.
I know.
Because like honestly, every one of those could beat like Revelos and Phantom's time, and like whoever gets last is still gonna be in rank 5.
It's
Like imagine you get a 227 and you're in rank 5, and someone
this
who
is
gets a 227 as well is gonna be rank 2. This is just
this is
crazy.
gonna be the most interesting race of the week. I'm sure. Actually, I'm guessing Anonymous and I think the Hamster also started doing these videos as well. Are gonna come to the realization how important this race is mid recap,
Yeah,
and they're gonna be like,
yeah, we
wait.
just like just read it. Yeah, it's gonna go crazy. That's really insane. Yeah,
But I guess
I
if I
guess
had
yeah,
to,
both of the middle ones can be like. But yeah, with the specific runner combination, it's like just really crazy because I don't expect like Anorak to really leapfrog into run 1 here.
yeah,
He probably should just like as we said win, and then yeah, Revilo Phantom probably gonna stay in run 3 because either one of them who gets the better time has a high chance of getting leapfrog. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, we will see. We will see. Like if
Yeah.
you get a 228, 229 here, maybe you're safe even.
I think I'll go like my prediction will be the safe order, which I think Anorak's gonna win, Phantom will get second, Revi's gonna get third. I guess is my prediction, and I think that there'll be a leapfrog from the
Yeah,
rung
I would
below.
really agree there, and yeah, just going off the chances, I'm just gonna pick Phantom for my prediction, honestly.
Oh, okay. I mean,
It's
I
gonna,
think it's
yeah,
totally fair to play the odds and like because like
yeah.
obviously
I'm
if
just
they,
gonna, I'm just gonna need to, I need to grab a few points
yeah, after the week
just
one
because
prediction
how bad
performance,
week one went. So
yeah,
I'm just
fair
gonna
enough.
go for more flip picks
I
here.
mean, and then if you fail this week, you go for the big picks next week, and you just keep going for them until one of them
Yeah,
works. Um, But
actually.
yeah, I guess we can move on to Rung 2 here, which this is honestly a very, very interesting race to me. I did say that there's like an obvious whatever, but honestly, now that I look at it more, so it's Justin Harazmi, Laser. Laser and Harazmi both, like, I wouldn't say that they had bad performances at all. Like, or I guess I should say for Harazmi specifically, I don't think he had a bad performance. I know in his heart, he's going to be like, I'm disappointed with this. But, like, obviously, he showed some good potential in that race. Like, take away a few disasters and he could have been right around PB, maybe even better. And same with Laser, like he literally could have PB'd that run race. So I think both of those guys are up in the air on who finishes first or between the two. And then like Justin is like the favorite, but after his 224.54, I don't know. I'm not sure if this is like an early week match. Maybe Justin's not prepared enough. Like I think he.
Yeah, I think they just scheduled it actually, and it's gonna
Oh,
be
okay.
like Tuesday, so
Oh,
it's an early week
okay.
match.
This is that makes this a lot more interesting because I think like Laser and Erasmus are in better form than Justin, even though Justin's been starting to run. Like I definitely would say like Justin has the way higher ceiling, but like
Yeah, obviously, yes.
yeah, I
And
think the
also, like
range.
that's an interesting part. Like I haven't seen like Laser has done a few races, so
Hmm.
and he also was playing pretty good in the run. But Harasmi, I didn't see like too many full attempts. I know he has done episode practice, but
Hmm.
I think he has done like one race where he got like a 27 or something. So just like not derusted for the full game yet.
Hmm.
And I would expect for him, like as you mentioned, to just go better.
Yeah.
And since we both didn't watch like the entirety of map of this week's or last week's round one, we don't know what happened to Justin. Like if
Yeah.
it was only that rust and he can shake it off, but he has also like been attempts for a few
Yeah.
weeks, right?
That is a. Oh yeah,
So
he's
he
done at least a week of
theoretically should
attempts.
be derusted. Oh, a week, yeah.
I think I'll go
So
with Justin wins, which is definitely the safe pick. Justin wins,
yeah,
and
it's
then
a safe pick. Yeah.
it's so hard to pick second here. It's so hard. But I'm gonna go with Harazmi, I think. I I think
Yeah.
Harazmi is gonna have a big turnaround from last week. And I think he might like honestly, I think he gets second with like a 223 or something crazy here. And also that'll be
Yeah.
like a wild card securing time
That's a
for
fair
him.
pick. I'm just gonna like from last week's performance, I'm gonna pick Laser
Hmm.
just because he had like I think into episode 6 he still had like a 220 BPT or something,
Yeah.
which was just really showing how good he theoretically can play and like how we see it from like other games where he has record, where he's just like performing really solid. And I think he might be able to transfer it like to a big TCS PB finally.
Hmm.
Because I think his 224 PB is like not showing what he can do.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to pick against Laser here just because how well he
Yeah,
played last week and the potential there. I mean, Laser
that's
could win the
that's why I
race
would put
outright.
him. Yeah, he could even win it honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, still think Justin should be able to bounce back. But yeah, Laser maybe a good shot to at least like he should not get
Hmm.
leapfrog, right? So we will see maybe
Yeah.
Laser or harass me in week one, like round one, week three. So yeah, definitely interesting to watch. As you said, race for second maybe, but if Justin has another bad race, it can also just be like race for first.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I guess we can move on to rung one. Sorry,
Oh
not
yeah,
week one.
this one is gonna be interesting.
This is honestly, I was gonna say one of the most interesting races because I think so. Jared had I didn't see the race right, so I don't know how disastrous this 222.56 is for Jared. And I guess and Dragon obviously he literally got a 223 last week, and I can give you some insight since I'm in this race. I did another like no reset again today. I think I've only done no resets since coming back, and it was like another like disastrous early game, but I ended up getting like a mid 223. So like I feel pretty confident personally that like if Jared puts up a time like a 222.56, I can very much be in this race. Which I think on paper you're like, oh, Jared has a record. He definitely wins this one. But if he puts up like a bad race performance, which he's had some bad performances in the past, it could go to anyone. Kind of like the rung below, I think, where like
Yeah,
Dragon,
yeah,
like
for sure. And I feel like way less has to go bad for Jared than it has to go for Justin, so this becomes a close race
mhm,
because like I feel like a mid 222 is definitely like considering how it's still 3 minutes worse than the record, right? Or almost 4
Yeah.
actually, but it can happen like quite easily in a race. Especially, I feel like Jared has a like tension to once it like starts falling apart, he can't really stop it.
Yeah.
And so this like mid 220 time is very much like a possibility. You could also just get a like a 219
Yeah,
easily,
and then
but
just like win the race like
and
with
just win the
ease.
race like with no questions asked. So like unless this happens, which is like I guess it would still be like more likely to happen,
Hmm.
just because it's like not the first week and Jared also I don't know, he hasn't done too many attempts lately.
Hmm.
So he probably like kind of also depending how early it's gonna be scheduled, honestly, for
Oh,
this week.
I mean
Because
I
if it's
can
like
give
end of
you
the week,
insight on that as well because we've been talking. We're looking at Thursday. We just haven't figured out a time yet, so it'll likely be like a
yeah,
Thursday morning match, at least for U.S. time. So like I guess like evening at time ish in Europe
I see, yeah.
on
Yeah,
Thursday.
so
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 a little bit of
Jared
time.
should be able to have some time to like look
Hmm.
over what went wrong in this race, and that's why I would probably say he wins this.
Hmm.
But as you said, like it can easily fall apart, and then it's really, really interesting because Reagan also has that 223, and definitely like when you watch him in his PB attempts and like also in the race after he like calmed down, he was just like making no mistake.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like he has that ability to just lock in,
Hmm.
which is like crazily important for races, and also gotten like so many 223 low 24 times
Hmm.
in his PB attempts. So I mean I kind of tend like to favor him because just like he's EU
Hmm.
runner and like the big it would be like imagine Dragon gets C2 here. That would be like the
That
craziest
yeah,
prediction. I don't
that
think
would actually
anyone
be
even
insane.
predicted that in the weekly or in the top 8.
And the thing is, it's like it's not even like I think it's like a 5 or 6 to 1 right now to happen, which
Yeah,
obviously it was
it's not even that unlikely. Like
it
that's
was
so crazy.
75 to 1 to start on the prediction. So
Yeah. I probably would yeah, would still go with Jared just because I would
hmm.
expect him to up his
Hmm.
game. And therefore he should be able to beat you like in Dragon.
Hmm.
And then yeah, between you and Dragon, like as you mentioned for yourself, if you're pretty confident, I would probably follow you there
Hmm.
just because like you're kind of kind of the like more experienced runner obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean you've also like have had that tournament experience, so and we saw Dragon a bit shaky, so I imagine if it gets a close race and he looks at the paces, which I think he did for like he was in chat during his match as well,
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
bit. So he will know what is happening, and then if he sees that he has to like clutch it up, I'm not sure if he has the ability to do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He was
So
very
I would probably
nervous
say
last
it's
time, so
yeah, he was very nervous, and then he played well in the end, but also it
hmm.
wasn't a close race. So like he was a minute ahead of Laser for like the entirety of episode 5.
Yeah, if it's like a
And
real
so
mix up
I think
between
if
all
it's a
three,
close
I'd be
race, I think
curious.
I would give it to you as well, like
Hmm.
just because of experience reasons. And yeah, that's why I would probably like just pick Jared Cena or Dragon as my
Yeah, I think
1, 2, 3.
if I was smart, I'd pick that prediction. But obviously, I'm gonna pick myself because I want to like hype myself up a little bit, and I can't like pick against myself. I feel sometimes like if I
Yeah,
pick
that's fair.
against
Yeah.
myself, it's like I don't know, it just feels a little weird
Match
to say
fixing
it.
scandal. The
Yeah.
TCS match
Oh, oops! I got
match
my prediction
fixing.
right. Jared won. I threw in Bespin, but I mean, obviously, I'll pick myself because I just like want to have some confidence here. I will say so. Like what I've done so far is I've done like 5 D-Rust runs now, and they've all just been no reset. So I've done practice in D-Rust. Like the first one, I got a 228. The second one, I got a mid 225. Then I got low 225, a high 224 in the race, and then mid 223 today. And honestly, every single one of those runs has had a horrible early game. It's been not until like episode 4. It's like honestly, imagine what I did in the race, and that's exactly what happened today. Except I just played cleaner elsewhere, and well, I guess my early game wasn't that disastrous like in the race. Um, but yeah, like honestly, I feel like I'm playing bad, and the time is still just getting way better. And honestly, it's not like my late game's like insanely good or anything. Like today, I got a mid 223, got a 7-0 like 5 Endor or something, and I just like couldn't. There was like a
That's
lot of
also
bright
not happening.
moments and a lot of bad moments, so it's just like I think it's just the classic D-Rust moment still, and the fact that this race is on Thursday, I think is just as important to me as is to someone like Jared. So I'm hoping. I mean, this is me being optimistic because I'm gonna have some time this week to do runs, but I'm hoping I have a mid 221 or better by then, by the race Thursday. Obviously, I can't say that
Yeah,
that's
for
what
sure.
I'm gonna do in the race, but judging by how the progression's been going, and like how much time I can see I can save, like I'm like I hope I can be able to PB by like around a minute come the race Thursday, assuming that I
Yeah,
actually
I
play.
mean that's definitely in the realm of possibilities. And then if Jared gives you an opportunity, you can maybe grab C2 here.
Yeah, I mean there's like I was saying like it's not so far fetched. I saw Appleman pick me in the predictions. The only one who picked me is C2. I didn't even believe in myself that much. I picked myself as the 4th
Yeah, I
seed,
mean you
but
gotta like make Appleman proud.
and honestly,
If that isn't a
actually,
motivation, what
yeah.
is?
And something for me, this is long term. Frost got the 1 seed, and I think he's the most dangerous runner in this tournament. I would say he's my favorite to win right
Oh yeah, you
now.
could watch him until
Yeah,
finals.
exactly. That's why I was like, if I can get the 2 or 3 seed, so especially even locking up second place in this race is really important to me because I kind of want to dodge Frostbite. Like, of course, things can change, and like Jared could just be a dominant force by then, and Justin could be way better. So it's just like, obviously, it's not gonna work out, but like perfectly. But like, I think dodging Frost is the best I can do right now. So getting the 2 or 3 seed is pretty big. But yeah, I guess that's my prediction. I'll go me. I'll go a little spicy. I'll go me, Dragon, Jared. I say Jared has a
Okay.
disaster or something. Um,
Okay, buddy.
that's just my troll prediction, I guess. But we'll see. In terms of, I guess I'll quickly bring this up because this has run a lot longer than I thought, but we can quickly go through it. How's your top 8 predictions going, and I guess just how are they
Well,
going, and how do you feel about them going forward?
with the last match, I picked Jared actually,
Hmm.
which I guess and everyone did.
I did
I
as
feel
well.
like yeah, I can see a few people picking Frost, which also was a solid pick,
Hmm.
but I went for Jared. I naturally went Frost second, just because it
Oh,
would have. I guess it would have been
yeah.
actually a bit smarter to just pick the same person for seed 1 and 2.
Yeah, actually, now that I think,
Like
because of
either
course I have
either one you go
Justin
for it, you should
as
have.
my seed too, and now look, he doesn't
Okay,
even
that's
have a
not
chance.
gonna happen as
Yeah,
well.
I actually can't even get any of the top 3. I went Jared, Justin, Frost, so my top 8's so
Yes,
cooked.
I mean I got Justin on third, so that might
Hmm.
happen. But yeah, 1 and 2 are kind of over now. So like retrospectively, and maybe for next year, probably should pick the same person for 1 and 2, so at least you get
You get
half the
half of
points,
it, yeah.
or you keep gambling, I guess. And then yeah, I guess Justin on third is still solid.
Hmm.
I think if you give Justin 2 weeks, he should be able to get back,
Hmm.
unless he demotes again, which as we said could happen. And then I got you on fourth and Dragon fifth, which I'm kind of
I
like
like that.
questioning if that was smart, because I mean, of course you like it more, but from
Well,
like the race potential
yeah.
aspect as well, I would say Dragon on fourth seed is also very likely. And seeing that it gave 75 points versus the 25 points you get on Dragon seed 5, then it
I
kind of would have
guess the
been nice,
reason
I
I
guess.
like that for you is actually if the top 3 plays out as the top 3 gets the top 3 seeds, whatever order, I would say the most likely outcome right now is me and then Dragon as 4 and 5. In
Yeah,
my
that's
eyes,
that's
like
you.
that's
that's you being biased
well,
for you confidently, right?
well, yes, but I guess like I am still the 4 seed at the end of the
Yeah,
day, and I think
honestly,
like
yeah. I just wanted to to troll you a bit.
yeah, I know.
I
So,
I would give you the edge as well.
but yeah,
Because also Dragon isn't going for like the crazy
mhm.
optimization yet, right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
playing close to his top, but he's also like picking safety, like a bit consistency over like aggression.
Hmm.
And I can see like him not crazily improving his sum of best. Like I think he's at 218 or something right now.
Hmm.
And then even if he can play like within 3 minutes, which would be crazy, it's still only a 221, right?
Also, yeah, I guess there's also with Dragon being like the 5 seed or whatever, he will have like no chance of being the 3 seed. Let's just say if he loses this week, he'll have to wait until
Yeah,
week
which
4
could
to
also
even get
just
another
very well
chance.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which like, and then once again, like, this is why I like Dragon as the 5 seed as like a prediction right now, because let's just say he loses this week, which in theory is the most likely outcome, but really is up in the air.
Yeah, I
He
agree.
goes to rung 3, he wins. He moves up back up to rung 1 for week 4. He's gonna either have to play someone in the top 3 who surprisingly didn't qualify, or have to
Or
beat
you.
like
Yeah.
me.
And you probably beat him this week. So
And I probably have like a slight betting edge favor unless Dragon
yeah.
goes out and like goes crazy and gets like a 220 or 219 or something. Which I don't think he's quite ready for that, but I mean, I wouldn't be. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
totally out of the blue for him to go
I wouldn't
crazy
be
and keep
totally
going.
surprised either, but
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, from like pure betting odds, I would agree that like you 4th and Dragon 5 is still like the most likely.
Yeah,
But the other way around, it's just like about the potential
yeah.
points,
And
which we're looking at here.
I'm sitting here in my top 8, very sad because I have Dragon as my wild card, fully knowing that he's definitely not going to
Oh,
be looking at the wild card. I mean, yeah, he basically has guaranteed if he happens to just lose out or something, but
yeah, I have Farasmi as wildcard, which I think still could be a
that's not a
possibility.
bad pick. I mean, there's like a possibility because like if he just like doesn't win a couple key races against Anorak or Laser, let's just say, like he could
Yeah, he could
definitely
like
get
easily just
the
end
wild
up
card.
in like a bit, yeah.
Yeah, he could just end
So
up as the
that's
wild
and
card.
also that's pretty good points. I think was a part of the reason because I like didn't want to pick like Laser, actually
Yeah,
Laser or Dragon for wildcard because they were so low points.
and I guess I'll ask you
So
this
that was like the balance there as well.
as a final point. I'll ask you this: did you have any like surprises in your top 8 that like you have any updates like a surprising outside of top 8 player coming in, or did you just have the normal
Mm,
top 8?
no, I have like Flop as 7th,
Okay. Oh, I have the
which
same
was my
exact pick.
my
Okay.
my gamble maybe a bit.
Yeah.
And
How are
yeah,
you
so
feeling
and so
about
far
that
like
right now?
I mean I talked about it earlier. I still think she has the potential. It's just
Hmm.
how much does she care?
Exactly.
I feel like that's the most important thing. Like how important is TCS because she does like the co-op stuff with Edna, right?
Hmm.
Like it was what was it like Minikid Rush
Yeah, yeah,
this
I was
weekend,
watching
and
it.
then
It was like
it's
the
Lord of the Rings,
indie artifact rush.
and if we watch at the timeline, like Legathon is gonna be like very close to
Hmm.
like the later weeks of
Yeah.
Ladder League, and I think they probably are gonna do like some Lord of the Rings co-op stuff there
Hmm.
potentially. Or like I imagine they're gonna do any co-op stuff. It could be Lord of the Rings, it could be LHA. So she's probably gonna be a bit distracted and just
Hmm.
doesn't care too much about TCS. So like probably wouldn't pick it again.
Yeah.
Which
I
sounds a bit harsh,
yeah.
but like there's just so much more potential on the other runners for top 8.
Yeah. I guess I have the same exact 7 seed prediction, so I'll say I'm a little upset about week 1, but I'm not fully like disappointed or anything because I think this will be an opportunity to like make it up because especially she's in the like movement rung where you could be in rung like we could be looking at Flup rung 2 next week, looking very strong, like, this is like on pace to actually happen versus Flup bottom rung needing to like leapfrog to get back in contention or something. Which, by the way, I don't.
Yeah, it's not impossible. Like we talked about the leapfrog from that round 4.
Mhm.
Like it's very likely that anyone from that will be in round 2 in week 3. And then if you can get a hold of being in round 2, round 3 consistently, then there's always a chance to just qualify at the end.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the scariest thing. You do not want to be bottom rung week 3 because someone from the Daime Flub team T Fresh match is going to be bottom rung. So for people in the bottom 2 rungs right now, it's like obviously it's important to survive if you're in the bottom rung, but you're
Yeah,
definitely
I guess in
looking
the
to
bottom rung you
leapfrog.
can't actually just can't decide. You can kind of just want to survive there, but you definitely want to put up a good time in rung 5 there, so you don't get leapfrogged and
Yeah,
stay in rung 5
and I
to get
think
eliminated
the
possibly.
Monday match is cool since Charizard and Almas, right?
Yeah.
So people the
So
bottom
whoever gets
rung.
second there should just make sure they gotta get a good time.
Yeah. Also, I guess there's the point of the bottom rung. Whoever is like so in the bottom rung, you if it since it might just be a death sentence staying in the bottom rung and not leapfrogging. If you like, you have to keep in mind second place leapfrog time, maybe even more than your competitor's time. I mean, of course, you still want to survive, but like you might as well go all out
Yeah,
to try
definitely.
to
Yeah.
get the leapfrog, even if it
Yeah,
costs you
this
the
is one of the things.
tournament.
Even
Yeah,
if you are ahead, you should still go for GTF maybe if you like need the 20 seconds
yeah,
to beat the leapfrog time, because I guess it would be cool to play another week. But if you land in that round 5 with Daimai Flap T-Fresh, one of those, that's gonna be like a
and I
huge death
mean,
sentence.
if you have the opportunity of being like second to last rung or third to last rung week 3 and then survive to week 4, like I mean, I'm not saying week 4 is the end here, but as you can see, the ladder is so small and there's not much left. So it's like if you get to week 4 and are keep constantly playing and keep constantly improving, I mean, you could be someone who's sitting here at the bottom 2 rungs right now, and then like I just think of just like something that comes to mind, like Charizard or Quasar. Some people, or even Anonymous, but maybe that's too big of a stretch. But like someone like Quasar, who's been really rapidly improving, and if he like leapfrogs or something, stays alive, and then keeps playing because he's motivated, and then gets to
Yeah,
week 4,
for sure.
and then suddenly he's got a 226 PB or something, and then has the potential to like beat not everybody, but like the potential to
Yeah, but
even get top 8.
26 could be like a top 8 time. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like this next week is going to be really big because I think one of the biggest things for me is like the event motivates me to run more. Like of course I still want
Yeah,
to
and that's
PB,
definitely
but
a
the
case
event.
for a lot of other
Yeah.
people.
So like just staying in the event to stay motivated, a big factor I think for all 6 of these runners right now on the bottom 2 rungs. So I'll definitely be interested. I guess if you have any final thoughts, uh,
No, I'm just like
yeah,
very excited for week 2,
yeah,
honestly.
this is gonna be
It's
really
definitely
really
a key
exciting.
week. It can separate like the top from the bottom. And I think we had like a great week 1,
Mm-hmm.
very close matches, very exciting matches, and just hope we are in for like another treat like this one.
Yeah, and I guess I'll end off on one final thought is I guess these recaps. So I think normally when I yap, normally it takes like 30 to 40 minutes, and I thought adding a guest might like help that, but
Might
it
like
had the
shorten it.
yeah, it had the
Yeah.
opposite effect where it just ends
Yeah,
up we
sorry for
having
everyone who had to watch all of it,
which
but
I mean I actually love
yeah.
it since I guess well also by the way you had the honor of taking the hardest like recap here because we have the most matches to recap. It's like the
Yeah,
most
it's
rungs.
surely gonna be shorter the next time, right?
Yeah, 2
Surely,
additional
if
play-in
there's one
matches.
less,
Yeah.
surely if there's like 3 less matches, you're gonna
It's
not
like
not
we have
have a
5
video
less
that's 1 hour
matches to
long.
talk about, and each week you have 2 less players to talk about. So it's just like this is going to be the biggest one. But yeah, expect I guess longer recaps in the future as I bring in more guests. But yeah, as in terms of who the guests are, I'm going to leave them as a surprise until we get to the actual video. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for having me,
yeah, I'm glad to have you on as our first
and yeah, good luck
guest
on
run
your
through.
race,
Yeah,
especially.
thank you, thank you. I hope I'll see you in the commentary booth as well. All right, guys, that's the end of this video. I'll see you next week.